All right. Oh, that's bad lighting. Good morning. Welcome to what happened to my lighting? Good gravy. Telling you, it's a Friday, and you can tell it's a Friday, can't y'all? I know we have a small audience today because I screwed the feed up. I did everything wrong today. I screwed the feed up. What is going? Why is that thing? There we go. Look at me looking like an actual human being now. Yeah, I bet means my table view is probably a disaster too. So good morning. Last show of the week, last show of the year for me. I didn't plan a thing, by the way. I have nothing to talk about. I just want to be here and just say hi, and we'll probably stop our show today a little bit early just because of it. But I wanted to say a couple things. One is the storm is over. Let me go ahead and actually share my screen here. Jen is saying, I don't see a show. Yeah, I know the show. I started it. I screwed up, Jen. Hold on. She's texting me saying, where's the show? Hold on. This is a live production, as Jeff always says, at its best. This is what happens here. So I'm going to tell her, refresh your YouTube. Refresh your YouTube. Hold on. Refresh, please. There we go. All right. I think that they'll be here in a little bit. Anyway, what a week. What a week. The storm this week, I think we were 1-4 this week, right? Kind of a brutal thing. And it's one of those deals. I'm going to switch to my screen so I can show you the stats here. Oh, that's what I wanted. Let's go. You need to be like this. There we go. How about this? Is that better? What is happening with my screen? Why is my picture over there? What in the world is going on? I think it's got to be this. There we go. Wow. Ugly. There's the storm. 12-8. It's up $3. We made $3 this month. It's basically we made 10 cents a day, as it turns out. That's our actual numbers. I'm calling today's. I went on tilt today because it was Friday, and who cares? We were down about $150 when I said, screw it, we're going all black. Went all black chips. So we end up being a zero for the month. Basically a zero. It's a tie. It's unfortunate. I said this yesterday, and I said it today in the garage. The storm, I had high hopes for. As a hybrid play, right? Hybrid play should be 2-3 hits, get out of the thing. The problem with the storm is that it's got such massive odds on it that your hybrid play ends up being so massively tilted in one direction that when you have good shooters, and for whatever reason, this entire month, I've picked off that point so many times, like more than I think I should. I got to go back and count the number of points I hit this month, but it sure feels like, again, I don't have the data yet, so I can't really say this for sure, but it feels like I hit the point so many times with the odds up there before I got the third hit, which, we know it's hard to get 3 hits, but I'm getting 2 hits plus the point, which should be a good thing. 2 hits plus the point in this strategy puts you down money. Down $100 actually, every time. And we were fighting back from that all month long. And for whatever reason, the numbers were coming up for us, and this strategy couldn't handle it, couldn't fight back. So to me, it's an X on the list that gets crossed out. There's potential there to fix it. I think we can talk about the storm and the Red Cross kind of merging a little bit, and really they're kind of the same play. If you look at it. So all I want to do is go to my table really quick and kind of, while it's in my head, I want to go over this with you because I think it's an important thing for us to kind of get to. So let me switch my screens here real quick and give me a sec. I might have to fix the camera view here the camera view for this table is not super clear. So give me 1 second here. Let me do this. It's going to flash for a minute. So I apologize for the flash. Boom, boom. And it should come up here pretty clear. Let's take the brightness and the temperature down, and there we go. There's the table. Alrighty, let's look at the storm and the Red Cross because I think they both come from the same place. Check it out. I was thinking about this in the garage today. So here's the Red Cross. Okay, and I'm going to do this at the kind of normal size level here. So forgive me that the numbers won't be the exact same, but let's go here. I'm going to take the Red Cross. We're going to go 75, 90, and 90 on the 5, 6, 8, and 9, okay? Remember, these pay $105, right? So we'll do $105, right? But we're gonna put 30 in the field. So it's gonna be basically 150, 225, plus 30, 255 on the inside, plus 30, 285. That's your out. Plus your line play. The line play is going to be part of it. We'll do for now $50 on the don't to get started. Okay, just to get started. Actually, was it a quarter? I forget. It was $50, I think, right? Or was it a quarter? I think it was a quarter to start the line. The line play again on this one didn't matter so much. The line play will get you there at some point. This thing here is a separate little play. I think we had it at $50. I'm trying to remember. Anyway, this is the setup for the Red Cross. Okay, let's just get some dice here. I'm gonna roll a few dice and just let them sort of sit there so you can see them. All right, there's a 6. I'm gonna roll these out. We'll put them down here. There's a 5, 1, 6. That'll be our point. I'll put it here. I'm just gonna roll numbers till we get a 7. And hopefully we have enough to make it make sense. There's a 3, 2, 5. There's aces, that's cool. Let's get a green. There's a 9, that's also pretty cool. There's an 8, awesome sauce. Do a little comparative analysis. There's a 6, that's the point being hit. We can stop it here, okay, for right now. Let's just leave, actually no, let's get a new point. I'll do this right. There's a 6 on the come out. There's a 9. This is a pretty good shooter right here, huh? Where was this morning? There's an ace deuce. I'd love to see a frickin' 7 here at some point. If I can stop. 10. Wow. Okay. This will be the last. I'm gonna make a 7 happen because I don't want to go much further than that. Let's pretend we have a 7. Let's stop the shooter. There's our 6, 1, 7. All right. We're gonna stop it here. Now there's my rolls I'm gonna play with. I'm gonna show you. This is actually a perfect storm here. A perfect scenario. Let's play these two strategies out, the storm and what could be, or the Red Cross plus what could be the new storm, okay? Red Cross, again, has got, these are gonna pay a net of $75. 105 in here minus 30 is $75 for every box hit. And the field, as you know, on the Red Cross feeds the box, okay? So on hit, we set the point at 6, right? On hit 1, it's a 5. I would take the 6 down, obviously, because we have the don't 6. We take a 5, it pays $105, it's $75 net. I'll put the winnings over here, 75 on that 5. The aces come, and that pays $60 because there's pays twice. What you do with that is you're gonna pick up, with $60, I'll probably put $20 on each number. So 20 to the 10, 20 to the 9, and 20 to the 4. We pick up the entire box on that aces. The 9 comes, that pays $28. Collect from here, take the $30 that you win here, and rock up top. I'll probably take that and make my 9 look like 30, and the 4 and 10 also look like 30. So we're gonna get those all bumped up to $30, and that was that 9. Then we catch an 8, we lose 30, you win 105, it's a net of $75. Catch a 6, lose the don't. Okay, so now in the Red Cross, what you do is you go back out on the pass line and you level up. That's this come out 6. Then we have a 9 come. And again, the 9 will pay up top 30, we'll pay 42. And 30 over here, again, I'm gonna spread that out. 10, 20, 30. That's that 9, then we have 1, 2, 3, which again, $30. Here for this 30 bucks, I'm gonna put it to the 8. I'm gonna take the 30 bucks from there, jack the 8 up a little bit. That's that 3. We catch an 11 for 30 bucks. I'm gonna jack the 5 up and keep 5 for myself. We catch a 10, which with 40 bucks on it pays 80, 75, 80, and we're gonna 7 out. Okay, that's gonna be the end of the hand. We'll lose everything. The line, it all goes away. We started out here with 285, right? We have basically 200 bucks we brought back from the rack, right? We didn't even get out of the hand, believe it or not. This kind of hurt, and losing the 6 hurt. Good roll, lost some money. And again, when you're bouncing around like this, that'll happen. Now, early on in that hand, in here, we were way up. Time to rock and get out. Now, that's the red cross. And the red cross, like I said, it'll work if you're disciplined enough to leave in those early stages when it's up. But I wanted to show you that kind of idea one. Now, the other one, this red cross, or not the red cross, the storm could look like this. And I want to show you how this would have worked out. If you did something like the 204 across, okay? I'll set it up that way for you so you can see it. Little comparison here. 204 across, and again, you can baccarat the line. You can do a little $50 line bet, okay? Everything pays 50 bucks in this scenario. What I would probably do though, to augment it, is do something like an $8 horn, right? Or like I don't know, maybe even a $4 horn is fine. $4 on a horn every time is fine. Because here's what's gonna happen. And if this kind of turns this into a mini iron cross, but everything pays 50 bucks clean. So a 3-2-5 is a clean $50 win, right? Then we lose the 4, the aces come out, and you get paid 30 bucks on the aces, minus the $4, right? So minus the 4 bucks ends up being $1 because we lost the 4 the first time, right? Again, on the horn, you're gonna lose 4, 4, 4. You're gonna lose 12 bucks on there, but you're gonna get paid 50, 50, and 50, right, up here. So 50, 50, you wouldn't have the 6 out there because of that, and you lose this 6 over here. Okay, that's how the storm would start, okay? And again, you're gonna lose the 12 bucks. I'm gonna take the $25 out and put $13 back. You'd lose the 12 on those 3 hits. And again, before that 6 over here gets hit on the point, right here, when the 6 gets hit, you would have been up, right, $150 by collecting in here, which is the idea. Now, you come back out again, and the storm, if you switch sides to the pass line, the same thing's gonna happen to you here, but you're gonna get paid a clean out of the gate on the 9. You're gonna lose 4 bucks. You paid a clean 50 bucks on the 9. Then you get paid on the ace deuce. You get paid a net $11 and up to win. I'm sorry, $12 and up to win. $12 and up to win. Okay. Then an 11, the same thing, $12 and up to win. Catch 10, which pays you 50 bucks again, and you lose the horn, and then you 7 out for another $4 loss. So there's the storm when you just don't put the odds up. And again, you lose that pass line, unfortunately, when you baccarat the line. But just doing 204 across with a tiny little back and forth line and a little dinky horn bet ends up doing pretty good, right? That thing brought in 275, 280 it brought in net, right? And we started out with 250, 204 plus the 50. So that one ended up being okay if you just play it straight up and you do the baccarat line thing, you add a little tiny horn bet to it and play it out that way, it can work okay, right? I think there's merit to it, but I think we're just playing it. Those odds are just too crushing. The odds are way too soul crushing, and that was our problem with it, and it hurt a little bit, you know. So it's a bummer. Anyway, lesson learned. Lesson learned. Recapping that thing. I think. Yeah. Oh, let me get back over here again. I think it was a fun month, but I don't like losing 8 times. Like 8 times to me, you cannot play a strategy that loses 8 times in a month. It's just too much. So there's that. Now, looking ahead at a month ahead, What do you want to do? Yeah, Jen says $6 horn. Sure, $6. It doesn't matter. I was going to do like a $10 horn high ace deuce or something like that. But looking ahead at next month, and we can talk about this in chat if you want to. We should talk about what we're going to do next month. And there's a couple of things, and I want to get a little comparison here. So Waylon, I want you to pay attention to this because we're going to talk a little bit about all the things. I'm going to go back to my table. I'm going to talk to you comparatively about what next month may look like for us. Let's go back to the table. And the same set of rolls, we'll just leave them out there, the same set of rolls. So next month, I'm considering doing one of a couple of Waylon's things or something totally different. Sorry, just have to figure it out. So one thing we can do is the DC pony, right? So you get your point of 6, okay? We'll come into the don't for probably in our case, $50. We don't have the $5,000 bankroll. So we come in at $50 on the don't. And that would move behind the 5, right? Goes behind the 5. Then you're gonna be in the come for $10, okay? You're gonna lose the $10. So I'll put the losses over here on the don't. Then we come into the come again for 9. For a 9, it goes to the 9. In the come again, it goes to the 8. In the come again, it goes to the 6, and we lose. There's no don't pass, so we're good here. Okay, this is the losses. I'll put the losses here in the come. All right, so now we have a 5 as our don't point. We lost it here. We have 1, 2, 3 come bet set. Come out is going to be a 6. That comes down and gets paid. It's our first payment. Back into the come we go. That's going to be here, right? Then we go, this come goes to the 9, which is an off and on. We get paid on that 9, which is awesome. In the come again, we lose on that damn 3, which sucks. Into the come again. Actually, I'll take it out of here. We get paid on the 11. Bam. Still in the come. It goes to the 10. We catch a 7, lose 30. Actually, we're in the come again. We lose 30, you win 10, you win 50, and the net for all that is this. Okay, you started out with your $50 don't, 1, 2, 3 come bets. You lost a couple along the way, right? So if you gobble those losses up, your net up $60. Okay, that is the DC pony, which is $50 here, and 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 forever. If we ever get picked off, it goes to 75 and 15, 120. It's always one red per green, basically, is how that's gonna work. That's one way of playing it. That's very similar to the Headless Horseman, but it goes forever. The come bets never stop. And the ratio is important. The 5-to-1 ratio is important, okay? That's one option for next week, okay? If you're throwing good from the right side, you're gonna pick those come bets off and start making money on them things. If you pick points off or have repeaters, you're gonna burn on these don't comes, right? There's potential there to get whacked, and the ladder could hurt me. Now that's one. The other one that we could look at is this new one. There's a couple new ones out there from Waylon. And again, these are all variations of the same thing, okay? The Horseman, as you know, right? It's just a don't pass. It's the same thing. $50 don't, 3 come bets. It's just you're coming from here instead of coming from here. The Horseman and the Pony are the same, except for where the don't originates from. Here you can get beat multiple times in a row. Here you can't. That's the advantage of this, but the rhythm is always different. I tend to get my ass kicked on the DC, but Waylon doesn't. Either way, right? That's one. Another way to play next week could be, I think he's calling it the Arnold or something like that, where you're gonna go from the pass line. So it's a $50 pass line bet to start with. You catch your point, and then you come to the don't with a big bet. So if we're 50 here and we're 100 here, it might be 20. The ratios I'm not sure about, but 50 and 100, let's just say it's that. Let's look at the rolls, right? We catch a 6 from the pass line. This goes behind the 5. We're into the come for $50. We catch an ace deuce and we lose it. So your next come bet, I think you keep it the same. I don't think he ladders up on the come bet yet. That goes to the 9. We catch an 8, who cares? We catch a 6, win on the pass line. which is fantastic. And we're still just sitting here, right? That the puck is off now. Come out 6, doesn't matter. We catch a 9 for 50 bucks. Back into the come we go. We still have our no 5, and our pass line is still in the 6, right? That's the 9. In the come, we lose our 50 bucks again in the come. Back in the come again, we come out of our rack, I guess, come out of the come. You catch the 11, and you win it. You catch a 10, it sits there. These bets both die, but they pay the don't. And how do you look on that one? A little bit up. You have your don't pass bet, but you don't bet back. You have your pass line bet that you started with back, and your come bets are here, 3 come bets, right? You're basically square. And again, there's no difference to that and the DC Pony other than the bet sizing and the rhythm of when you lose. This one scopes it to a pass line, a don't come, and 1 come. Very similar, by the way, to a thing I've done before, which is the Southern Border, right? Remember the Southern Border, which is wait for a point? Wait for the point of 6. It was a 3-unit don't that goes to the 5. Then it was a 2-unit come, or 2-unit don't rather, that goes, well, that in this case we get paid on it, but after you get paid, that travels to the 9. And then it's a 3-unit come bet. So it's 3, 2, 3. That would travel to the 8. And then you wait it out. The 6 gets hit, who cares? 6 comes back, who cares? You lose your 9, which would suck. After that happens, you go back into the don't again. You get paid on the ace deuce. You lose on the 11. You're back in the don't. It goes to the 10 up here, and then you 7 out. These 2 get paid. This one loses. 2 and 3, and you're out again with a win. Again, the Southern Border, the DC Pony, the Headless Horseman, the Arnold are all the same. It's a matter of what size the bets are and which order you put them out in. It's basically 3 combinations of come bets, don't come bets, in whatever order you want them to be in, right? Whether it's huge don't, or it's pass line, huge don't come, small come, or whether it's huge don't come, smaller don't come, come. Whether it's don't pass, come. It's all the same, right? It doesn't matter. It's rhythm. At some point, they've all got the same hole. At some point, you're going to pick off a don't. You'll be stuck out there with a DC bet and all your come bets out there, and the 7's going to come and get you. They're all the same in that regard. It's a matter of which one do we like the best. I don't really care. I like the idea of the rolling come bets. The DC Pony I like best because it's got nice big fat don't and then a million come bets that I can just kind of cycle through and make money on. I like that idea a little better than the others, but we can decide as a group what we want to see. You know, the other alternative is to just go here, right? And just go across. Simple, 160 across, right? And do a permanent press for X number of rolls. Maybe it's 5 rolls, right? Where you get paid, you set the point of 6 and you get paid on a 5, right? And it's 35 bucks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. $35, right? And you can go, okay, let's just hammer them all, right? Let's just power press it by $1. All right, or whatever, right? And just go, okay, 35 bucks, and we'll go a little $44 pressure on the inside. We'll drop $9, okay? Okay, cool. Nobody cares about that one. The 9 hits for 42 bucks. And maybe you take back your $9 and do it again. Put $36 on the 6, or whatever, right? And press 22 inside 4 times in a row. That way, the right side player has got growing bets all the time. You can say after 3 hits, I'm out, and reset the board. You could do tier. There's a lot of things we can do here. Pure right side with smaller bet sizes to work these things. So I want you to think about what you want to see, right? I think I'm going to test out next week. We're going to do a little play test on the Daily Paycheck, minus Christmas Day, of course. We will do a little play test, I think, and run the DC Pony out there alongside of something like the permanent press or something like that, just to get a lens on what we like rhythm-wise to see next month. So Again, there's definitely, how do I say this right? Goodness on all sides of that, right? There's goodness on all sides of that. Let's go back over here. Let me get back to here. It's gonna be the wrong screen. Why is it the wrong screen? I don't understand why that does that. Anyway, you know why? Because I was working on next month's on the revamp. I'm doing a rebranding of the show, so I'm working on that. Anyway, that's where we are. The storm was not great. The Red Cross was great. Next month, what do we do? Next month, what do we do? Do we do the pony? Do we do the Arnold? Do we do the Horseman? Do we do the Southern Border? Do we do the Come Ladder? Again, they're all variations of the same thing. It's come bets, DC bets in some configuration and order. They all have a giant hole at some point. So let me know, y'all, what you think. The 5100 is a good one too, right? Which is the pass line and the 4 and 10 working, right? That's a genius. We talked on the phone about this. That's a genius move, right? Yeah, 160 across is half press forever. Could work, right? I like the idea of this, and to kind of go along with Jen's point. Check it out. Let me show you this one too. This is actually kind of a nice one. Waylon, you can walk me through this here. Let me go back to the table view. Here's a fun one that Waylon put out yesterday. He and I were talking about this. You could do 25 by 4 and 10, okay? And let's do the inside. Let's put the inside up here for the hell of it, okay? The inside could even be at 44. It doesn't matter, okay? And maybe that's an okay way to play it out. And a $50 pass line bet, right? And here's the thing. The 4 and 10, if the point is a 4 or a 10, you're getting paid $50 out of the gate, which is awesome, right? That's great news. If the 7 comes, was this at $100, Waylon? I think it was at $100, right? Was your pass line at? I forget what you had it at. I think it was at 50. On a come out 7, okay, they would lose and pay you down there. I think, Waylon, I'm trying to remember your video. Did you have it at $100 on the line? Was that $100 on the pass line? Because if it was, I think it was. It was. These would lose, but you'd win 100 down there. You put them back, and you're bringing $50 back, right? If the 4 or 10 is the point, you win $50 as the point's being set, and you have a nice little bet on that number to repeat. Then your inside play, you can play the inside separately. The 4 and 10 are kind of there to get that come out magic, right? And that's a jamming little way to play. I kind of like that a lot as an option. That thing's pretty cool, especially when you're throwing your points are 4 or 10. You're just going to gobble up money on both sides of it and leave the insides off. That's an option too, to go pure right side and just have some fun with it, right? Yeah, pass line $100. I got you, Waylon. So that's, I think, an interesting move as well. You know what I mean? So whatever we decide, again, as a group, I want you guys to think about this. Let me get back over here. As a group, think about what y'all want to see for a month. I'm going to run a bunch of these things next week, again, as trials against live rolls, just to kind of get a sense of how they work and what feels better to us as viewers. So there is that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go switch to the end here. I'm going to go down to, where's my closing screens? I want to get here. All right, I'm going to check. I know, kind of a weird show today, but I didn't have anything planned. I didn't have a Friday Follies thing planned today, and I'm running late up there. So I'm going to check, and this is a good time. Ask any question you want right now. This is a good time to kind of just engage a little bit. If you want to join me, I guess I can. Jen, you said you wanted to join in. I can give you a link if you want to come on in and talk a little bit. Let's see. OMG, PC. What pun did I make you giggle on? And Darksider says the first rule of the storm is to limit your losses. I know you say that all the time. But remember when Chris was here, he said point blank, don't do that. Like, the storm is the storm. Like, you got to play it. If you get picked off on a point, you go right back to the don't and repeat the process. The only thing you change is to get 2 hits before you bring the odds down, which and again, I didn't like that. I did it today and it burned me twice. I didn't like that. But that's the mechanical play of that thing. Is it's designed to do it. You play it that way. So it is tough to run two at a time, only because the rack, right? You can't see the rack, and when I'm dealing it, it's hard to reach across the table and get where I got to be. Otherwise, I would run two at a time. I'll do it next week. I'm going to run two at a time. You'll see what a pain in the ass it is for me to do it. But I won't do it for a month. I'll do it for the play test. And we just got to decide what play test do you want to see? What is the thing that makes the most, not the most sense, but what could be the most enjoyable to play? You remember I hated the 3-point Molly, and these strategies where it's a bunch of come bets going through. I'm not going to love that either. I can tell you now I'm not going to like it. But if I'm throwing numbers up there, those come bets will start paying. I was playing the DC Pony last night here and crushing with it because I had 2 15 rollers and I knocked every come bet paid on itself. It was fantastic, and I would take a $10 come bet, get paid on it, come back out at 15, let it get set, get paid 15, come back at 20. I was kind of rolling those things up. It's awesome, on a good roll. On a bad roll, that DC will cover you. The only thing is the PSO. The direct PSO sucks. That big DC hurts a little bit. But anyway, I'm trying to decide where we go and what we do. I don't have a sense of it yet. The strategies that won in the first iteration of the paycheck, we've played them all. The only thing we haven't played yet is the Horseman and the Come Ladder. And those two are both also great paycheck strategies. They take a long time to win, but the Come Ladder and the Horseman are great paycheck plays because they consistently win you a unit on every shooter, and you can kind of pop that out. Those are options too. The Horseman's nice because it gives you so many different ways to play it. The DC Pony's nice because it rocks those long rolls. So those are the two that I'm kind of leaning towards, perhaps with the permanent press being a piece of it. So yeah, put PCs in front of your comments if you've got them. I'm not going to start Zoom. I was going to do a Zoom today, but I'm not going to do it only because it's hard to set up, and I didn't actually set it up. Jen's going to be right back. I'm going to give you a link, Jen. Hold on a second. I'll send you a link to join me without Zoom. So hold on 1 second here. Let's do this. No, not that. I want to do this. This. Send you that. I'm going to send you this link here. Give me a second, everybody. I'm sorry. This is kind of on the fly. Chris, DGen, boom. There's the link. All right. If you want to join me, there's the link there. I sent you guys both link. Anybody else wants to join, you can drop me a quick email and I can give you the thing. So, yeah, Dark, getting hit in the box and the DC number that's my nemesis, right? I am, boy, oh boy, I can find a way to lose on the DC like nobody's business for whatever reason. Yeah, the thing with the Arnold, and a lot of Whalen stuff, right? And is bankroll. You got to have the bankroll to do it. And I'm at $2,500 in the garage, which for you and me is a lot of money, but for these strategies, it's not. It's underfunded. So the Arnold, I think, is tough if you're going to ladder it because you're getting into black chips really quick. And at $2,500, you don't have a lot of room to wiggle. You can't really survive that very long. So, yeah, they're all everything is suboptimal. It's craps, right? Everything gets crushed a little bit. So, let's see. What else is being said here? Getting hit in the DC box. Yeah, I'm looking at other comments. The Arnold's strong for different reasons. But again, to me, the Arnold, the Southern Border, the Horseman, they're all the same. It's just which order the bets go in. You know what I'm saying? The Arnold and the Southern Border, they both go don't pass first. The Arnold goes come second, and the Southern Border goes don't come second, right? And then they switch. It's just about where the bets go. It's all in sequencing. It's all in sequencing. So let me get my coffee here. What else is happening? Sorry about that. Ugh. While Jen's coming in, I'm going to show you something. Check this out. Let me see what you guys think about this. Let's see. Biff saying, saw math teacher discussing it was too risky for the novice. But which one are you talking about? All right, let's do this. I'm going to switch. I'm going to take this screen off real quick. Give me a second here. I'm going to close this. I'm going to show you the, while waiting for Jen to come in, let me show you the new screens. Keynote. Let me see what you like. Dark side. I don't have to ladder the. I know I don't have to ladder it. That much I know. And again, if you're in profit, you don't ladder it. I can ladder it by smaller amounts. I have lots of options there with it for sure. The way that Wayland does it is a ladder, but you're right. I can kind of forego some of that. Here we go. Let me show you the new screens. Let me tell you. Let me see what you think of this. Boom. Move that over here. Move that up there. And if I do this, baha. What do you think of that? I'm still working on the background. I love these black cards though. It's pretty cool. If I do this, you'll see what I mean. That's the background image, which I think looks pretty cool. I don't think that's actually high enough. Whoops. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Oh, get out of there. And if I go back to me, my picture fits in there okay, but I think there's too much black on it. But when I go to like the table view is cool. If I actually go here like this and I bring in the table, which looks like this, where's the table view at the right side? Bam. That looks nice, right? So when I'm out there instructing, it'll look like this. So you have like your Gambling 101 series. The background's more black and smoky, I guess. I was trying to find some cards down here to make it look like a casino a little better. And this actually should be a little bit bigger, like that maybe. And that's how it's gonna look. That's how next year's look is gonna be, like this and something like this, or not like that, something like this. I'm not sure about those. I'm not sure about that background. With the chips and the cards on it. I like it, but I don't like how my picture looks on it. I was actually working on some green screen stuff so that you don't have my closet back here. It would just my head, just my head would be there. What'd I do? What did I do? Shoot. Hold on. That. Hang on. That. Yeah, okay, there's that one. Then there's this one. But I gotta go back. See, I'm wondering about this actually as the look with like if I did this on my picture without the and had this smoky background, not be the gambling table, but just be smoky background, which I think looks kind of cool. So in chat, what do you think? Do you guys like this new look? Can you get the link via email? Jen. Hold on. Mail. New mail. Jen. Okay, here's the link. I just sent it to your work email, Jen. There you go. So anyway, there is the new look. That's next year's view change. I'll be on the right hand side. Words will be on the left hand side. Still the same kind of smoky look there, I think. I like this better than what I've got now. I think it looks a little more professional, a little more tight. So anyway, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? I'm waiting for Jen. Jen's going to join me here in a minute, so we'll wait for her to come on in. Let's see. James says, how much left on the felt when the 7 comes for the place bettors? Depends on the strategy, right? And again, if you're gonna let's take the new look. Let's go to the table with it. Let's go back there and look at it. If I go to table views, the new one, let's work this new view. It just depends on your getting out, right? So if you're scoping it, and like I was talking to JB, let's get out here for 160 across. About this. Actually, you can do like, what doesn't matter, I guess, right? If you're out here 160 across, it depends on how you're looking to play it. If you're gonna go and be a regression or a lockup guy, right? Let's take these set of rolls. The point was 6. You catch a 5 for 35 bucks. Let's say that you do like a same bet and then press the number, right? So a 5 hits, you bring 35 bucks back. The 9 hits, you bring 35 bucks back. The 8 hits, you bring 35 bucks back. Here comes Jen. I think. Is that Jen? Dialing in? Let's see here. Hold on. Hold the phone. She didn't get in. She's gonna try again. All right. So anyway, you got those 2 hits, the 9, then the 6 hits, and that's $35. And 4 hits in, everything's hit once. You've same betted. You've got back not all of your money, right, James? You got 125, 140 back in the rack, 160 out in the felt. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in. Okay. The 6 hits again for $35. But if you're going to be a same bet then press person, what does the 6 go to? Probably $48. And now you're actually out of the hand. 5 rolls in. And you can say to yourself, I'm done. I turned 160 into 160 in profit. I can be done playing now, right? That's the thing of paycheck play, discipline play versus the regular sort of let's just go hog wild guy, right? And I think the right side player has got to determine what their out is or what they're satisfied with. So again, 5 hits, pulling money back every time. You can be done, but you may not be done enough for you. And that's, I think, part of what we're going to talk about next month. Jumping in, let's see what the kids waiting for. I guess Jen can't get in. I'm not sure what's going on. But now we're 9 o'clock. I gotta go to work now, so we're done. Not awesome using phone. No, it's not. You gotta use Safari to get in, Jen. Sorry about that. All right, let's see what else we have here. Holy Roller says professional craps. Yeah, you gotta get it. I mean, you know me. You gotta get out. John Cope, I haven't seen you here before. You're saying all those that are DI talk about the importance of practice. I don't see how that works economically if you can use that same 2 hours on your work if you had a good job. Well, it depends on what you make per hour at your job, I guess, right? I'll tell you this, and again, this is going to go for me and me alone. Let me go back over here. For me and for me alone, here comes Jen again. I'll get you here in a minute, Jen. For me and for me alone, the hours of practice that I put in are therapeutic. Like stressful day at work. I talk for a living. I'm a teacher, so I talk all day long. And I got students that are stressed out and all this stuff. For me, going to my garage and throwing the dice for a couple hours is like, that's calming, right? That's, some people watch TV, right? Some people play solitaire. I do that too. But for me, it's good to kind of get yourself centered and kind of focused and zen, I guess. I like the practice. I enjoy the practice. So for me, it's not work. But I hear you. Now, if your practice is good, and this is going to be a giant, the world's biggest if coming here, right? If you're practicing and you're great at it, that 2 hours of practice, if you can turn that into what you just saw, 3 hits after the point, get the point, get 3 hits, hit the point. If your practice turns into that, then your table time in 15 minutes making $200, what is that? That's $600 an hour or $800 an hour, right? You can make that practice time worth it if it translates to bets and income at the table. And if you're happy to go 640 across, 3 hits, 140, 140, 140, and get the fuck out of there, fantastic. That's where the DI practice makes sense, and you can justify the time and buying a damn table, right? And again, giant if. Can you make that pencil? Let's bring in our friend Jen. I'm gonna go and take Jen, and let's see here. How do I get her out of the green room? Actions, remove from green room. Hold on a second, Jen. I'm gonna try and bring you in here. Give me a second to do this. Let's see. Oh, you ready to have some fun? Let's do this. No, not that. Interview. Instead of Myopia Movie, let's bring Jen in. Let's can you say hello? We may get some.
You. not sure what is going on here. Hmm. Hey, can you hear me? I've got no audio. Hey.
Hey, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, great.
My echo canceling thing sucks. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, Ecamm's terrible. I thought you were gonna send a Zoom, but that's okay. My
Yeah, but
computer's decided to
I'm
die
gonna
too.
switch my audio to something different here.
Zoom,
Yeah.
Zoom. My audio is gonna sound like shit, but that we won't. We'll have echoes. Zoom kind of sucks.
Ooh.
With hold on a second. It's problematic. Getting the feed in there right where you can see stuff. But this link is okay. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm heading over to the casino like later today, and I'm looking forward to it.
You're in Cali now. Are you back home?
I Yeah, I'm back home, and we're gonna be driving up to Reno. My wife wants to see her grandbaby, and she said it'd be okay for me to go and gamble while they do like the Christmas cooking prep and all that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm there, I'm just in their way. I'm in their kitchen. They're always like screaming. You know how your wives are like, "Get out of the kitchen." That's my wife.
Now, how far is Tahoe from you? Is that a tough drive?
Yeah, it's 4 hours, and we're gonna go for quite a long time. So we hit Caesar's 7-star status this year, and as a 7-star or any kind of rewards, you have to use it up by January 31. And I had realized, oh my God, I haven't used it. I reached out to Michael at Premier, Michael Feldman, and I was like, I guess I'll use it at Reno. Not fancy, but it'll get the job done. So they're putting me up. In a suite. You get a $500 resort credit too. So, you can eat a lot of steak for $500.
Hey,
And I think what else do you get? I think you get like a limo pickup or something like that. And I was like, no, we're just gonna rent a car. We're good on that. And it's really nice. And $1,200. They give you a $1,200 like flight credit. So,
really?
you want to definitely book first class, book the most expensive ticket you
Yeah, right.
can, right? And it'll cover your spouse, like whoever's on your actual itinerary when you fly. So that's nice.
Yeah, uh, well for you and me the same thing. For me to get to Vegas is an hour and a half. So the first class ticket to Vegas is like coach is like $78. First class ends up being like 650, and it's an hour and a half flight. Like I don't even get like one mimosa in me, and it's time to land. It's like almost not worth it, you know.
I thought it was longer. I thought it was like at least like an hour and a half. For us, it's an hour and a half.
It's about an hour. It's about an hour and a half. It's a cheap. It's
Yeah.
less than $100 from the flight. It's so fast. It's like you take off, they give you one round, and they're out. But so you
Yeah,
went to
well,
Vegas.
let me tell you, you're not Irish enough. See, my wife can pound at least 3 drinks in
I
an
would
hour and a
have.
half. So she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make the most of this." She'll ask them too. She was like, "Hey, why don't you just bring 3 right now and save yourself some trouble?"
I got a question here. Darksider asking me. I'll ask you the same question. I know what your answer is. I'll tell you my answer too. Darksider asks us, would you consider a 2 to 3% total return on money bet in a year worth the time in craps? Jen's answer is, dun, 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 you're saying yes.
Um, 2 or 3%? Did he say total of 2 or 3%?
Is it worth the time?
Well, okay. Yes, for the comps. It is. I mean, I think
Yeah.
this year I have to say, and I'm just gonna be honest, like at the table, I've been a huge loser, just a huge loser. And I can say it's in like the 5 digit range, right? Multiple 5 digit range. But I have been a full degen. I'm thinking of it as like law school tuition, right? I paid $250,000 for law school. So
Right.
I'm not there yet on craps, but first year law school, I mean, I don't know shit. It's top of my class, but I still don't know shit about the law. I feel like I'm like there for with craps, and I'm getting better, but it's been so much experimenting, right? Every time I
Mhm.
see a Wayland strategy, I'm like, this is the one, and then I run to the casino, I buy it for $5,000. I lose it because I just didn't have enough time playing it and trying it out, right?
Right.
It could be the one, but I don't have his savvy of like, I think that's the thing people don't understand about Wayland's strategy is there's a lot of his genius that says when to press, when not to press. Like,
Mhm.
are you satisfied or are you not satisfied? And we don't do that. We just kind of do it mechanically, kind of
Totally.
like your paycheck show.
Yeah.
And so we lose and we have a different result. And then we tell, and then people comment with Wayland, like, this is like a crock of shit. It doesn't actually work. And it's like, yeah, or is it you? Is it you? Were
Right.
you greedy? Did you not do it right? But all strategies, I am coming to the conclusion, aren't great. I've been very big dark side and then like a little bit of 6-8 progression, and that still has been the most successful. However, it turns out to be very grindy. Like I'll do well, I'll make like $80, $100 per person, and then one good shooter want me out for $1,000, right? And because you're like, he's not going to make the third point. Well, he definitely won't make the fourth point. I mean, this is not going to be Firebend, okay? And
Yeah.
then I'm like down 2,500. And I'm like, I don't even know what happened. um, so for me, I need to get out when someone gets hot if I start dark side. But I'm starting to kind of progress my play towards like really the light side because of the exponential payouts
Hmm.
kind of gets you a better result. Like
Yeah.
you may, if it's better the other way. So lose a little bit on everybody, or just lose a little bit on every hand, so you can survive to the big hand, or even a medium hand. And every time that I've won at the table, it's because a hand came to bail me out. Either I shot the hand, or you, John, as bad as you say you throw, you don't. You are like PSO or like 18. You're
Right.
PSO or ATS. Like that's you. Um, and I'm a little bit more consistent than that, but that is what is needed. Like even a 10 roller, it's just really survival. If you do the hedgy wedgy thing, you're just surviving and you're like, how did
Right.
I lose money on a
Well,
12 roller? I suck.
doesn't the storm prove that out? The storm proves it out. You get these 8, 9, 10 rollers, and I'm still behind sometimes because it's just too much of this bullshit, right? And the more and I by the way, the JB 3 hour Fireside Craps is dropping tonight. It comes out at 5 o'clock Pacific time. 3 hours. I listened to it again. It's really good. And one thing we talk about, which I talked about this past week, is this whole notion of like, do you go big and regress, like a lot of people say, only way to play, or do you go small and grow it up? I joke, are you a grower or are you a shower, kind of a thing, right? And it's like what I have always done is and I think I've bet it wrong in the past, and more recently I'm taking this, and somebody says they're disciplined, the big talk in chat right now, people talking discipline. If you go 64 across, and when I just this past weekend I won like $1,200, right? On a decent roll. It was like a 25 roll. It wasn't the greatest roll, but it was a good roll. The sequencing was fine. But you can take $64 and hammer it really good. Now, there were 3 people ahead of that roll that were PSOs, like no collections, zero, like literal PSOs, not even like one hit now. All right, so you go down $64 3 times, which sucked. But then we had another 4 people who got 4 numbers, right? So if you're same bet, same bet, same bet, same bet 7, okay, you're either up $4 or you're down $5, and you're kind of treading water. The big one happens, 3 PSOs, and you can be okay with that. Managing small money like that's not that hard. It's hard here. People want to go, bam, they watch, all the strategies and want to come regress down. But that big hit that you take early it's hard to recover from that. You take 4 big hits versus 4 tiny hits, and you're out. You're out of the game. Your $500 or $750 is gone. So yeah, I think you're right. I think more of the little stuff, let it turn into something awesome, And you can still grind at the small levels. And I think that's, if you're going to be right side, that's the way to do it. For me, I'm not anymore a fan of trying. I've tried everything. Believe me, I've been playing forever. I've tried everything. And the big regressions are just too tough. Now, if you're doing a paycheck thing, like that drawdown that Joe's working on, Dallas drawdown, we call it, that thing is great. If you're going to do unprotected paycheck play, hit, out. Because that thing results in, $250 in profit in 3 rolls and you're done, right? Bye-bye. But you got to have discipline to do that. You got to be able to walk, and the daily paycheck show is about me walking when I'm at 10% up. And that answers the question we got. 1-2% profit. You happy with that? You know what?
No, never.
I mean, well, the thing is, people look at that as money and they go, oh, it's not worth my time to win 1 or 2%. But if you don't listen to what we talk about, all the people on YouTube that are, giving you good advice and what you're saying here, if you don't listen to that stuff and you go and you lose 10% all year long, was that worth going to the casino? No, right? I'd rather win 2% than lose 10. Now, I'd rather win more, obviously, but all things being equal, let's not go to the casino and lose 10% over the course of the year. Let's go to the casino and win 2%. I'm down with that. I don't love it.
Yeah, I think do you use your comps? Because I feel like the comps raise your winning level, right? So like I said, it I may or may not and I'm not gonna like be down like $20,000 at the table
Mhm.
this year. I have recouped at least $30,000 to $40,000 of cruises, airfares, hotels,
Mhm.
spa experiences, like all that stuff. That stuff keeps me in the game because my wife will tolerate me. I'm all the time I put at the table. She's
Yeah.
not gonna buy that. Oh, I'm just like this is my tuition for learning a new skill. I don't or my next career. Like we've made a ton of money in business. We don't need any more money. She doesn't buy that I need a retirement thing, but she needs me out of her hair. So great. But without the comps, I could never get my spouse on board. She would just be afraid I've turned into a total degenerate. And it's still true. I am a total degenerate now, but I have work to offset that. $20,000 is literally meaningless to me. And I swear to God is my witness, Christ is king, I've won like $15,000 in bubble craps this year. So
Yeah.
all in, am I a winner? Yeah, but at the table, money wise, yeah, big, big loser. And be realistic. And that's because I'll say it's the dark side. The dark side's kicked my ass. I don't care what you all say. And I've been dark side since the beginning because I started watching Charlie. The
Yeah.
difference with Charlie, and I truly believe he is like the only YouTuber I know that is like always successful at the table. And that's because he is ultra disciplined, even more so than John. Like literally, he's hitting one hit and he's out. He is done for the shooter. He doesn't care if it's a 2-hour roll. He will sit there and BS with somebody and make friends with like the cocktail waitress. He doesn't care. And he has no FOMO whatsoever. And I at first learned the no FOMO from him and then watched you guys, and now I have terrible FOMO. And now I've come all the way back to the last time I was at GVR, I didn't have FOMO. I literally hit horns more than 50% of the time, and I did not have a single extreme bet. And I was at a crapless table, and people were parlaying and hopping, and I hit the 12 6 times, and I didn't go on the 12 until the fourth time. And people had that start at 10, and it went all the way to 600, and I hit it at 600 for them, right? So, hey, by the way, no one gave me a tip. I don't need a tip. I'm just happy with a high five. But if you high five me when I'm shooting, the next roll will be a 7. So don't look at me. Don't do anything. Remember when we were at Harrah's with you, me, and Chris, DJ and
Yeah.
Chris, and I rolled that 40, and on the 42nd roll, the casino sent the massage lady. She rubbed my shoulder. She was like, "Would you like a massage? Oh my God, you're doing good." She, elbowed me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And at the time, I didn't even think about it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fight through it. It was like
Right.
it was unbelievable. Like no massage people do that. They just come by and say massage, and they move on. Um, and it was like a 7 within 2 rolls.
That's funny. Oh man. So I'm with you on almost all that. I think
Oh,
the comp thing is the comp thing is interesting. As long as you and Holy Roller's here too. He's saying hybrid is the best way, right?
Mhm.
The thing about if you're playing for comps, yeah, hybrid's a good way because if they map you to your total spread and not just the result of your bets, right? So a seasoned boss is going to look at a $50 don't and a $30 6 and 8 as a zero play. They're going to know that that's a wash, and they're going to rate you with nothing. If they're going to rate your total action though, then you're going to get the big comps. So and I think he's got a different view of this thing, right? Holy Roller plays on cruises, for cruises, and it works out where he's getting free cruises and taking advantage of it, right? So playing the way he plays, you can cruise for free, and that includes the food and the drinks and all that stuff, and it ends up being a source of income to some degree. Land-based casinos, as long as you're, as I say this as a host, right? As a host who does make money on your play, we can talk about how that works at some point, but I do make money on your play. Not your actual play, but on your theoretical loss based on what you're playing. We get a cut of that, right? The casino says, okay, this person's going to come in. Their average bet is 220 inside. We figure that person's going to lose whatever it is, $9 an hour. So John gets $2 an hour of your play. That's kind of how that whole thing works. You know, it's not exact numbers, but that's about how it works. If you're going to change your play to increase the comps so you can get a free room and other stuff, that's where people get into trouble, right? If you're going to play your way and comps come as a result of that, and that's how you're going to do it, down, right? I think when you talk comps as a source of income, it's possible, but if you don't have the bankroll to kind of go out there and make it happen, you're going to lose way more by changing your style to get the comps, right? And I think also, you know this as well as anybody else does, the bubble craps, you get nothing. Like you get some tier points, but you don't get nearly the rack as a slot machine. It's about a tenth of what a slot machine gives you. It's if you set a slot versus a bubble crap for the same hours, bubble craps, you have way more money at risk than a slot machine. Slot machines, you know, $1 a spin, whatever. Bubble craps, you might have $80 out there. And you're not getting the juice from that at all. Unfortunately,
it's because you can hedge. Like if first of all, you have to do it at like my bankroll level. Like you got to stick in $1,000 in that bubble craps, right? You can't put $100. So you got to put in $1,000. Then if you set the point, then it will let you place bet the point. If you have a DP, for example. So that's why it doesn't count well. But you know, when Chris and I told him, hey, at Harrah's you need like $20,000 of action before you get 1 point. But if you go to the link, you only need 5,000, which sounds like a lot. But remember, bubble craps is going at like you know, a hit per second. It's quick. Like you can hit that a lot. But that's not so. Bubble craps, I think, is the opposite of my table conclusion. Bubble craps, you have to go dark. You just have to go dark. I know people. Waylon's been on long rolls on bubble craps, but not me. Me, it's like 18 come out sevens or 11s, and you're just crushed. So screw that. I'm hedgy wedgy all the way because I'm just getting volume. I want $5, $10 like every second, right? 2% is not 2%. And even comps, it's not income, guys. It's not income. It's like my mom telling me like she saved so much money because she bought something on sale. It's like, but you only bought that because it was on sale. You're not saving money. It's not income. Okay, it's just something that you can experience as an offset. You know, so and you're 100% right on that comps. It has changed my play. In fact, it's made it worse. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I was a winner at the table. This year, because every time the pit boss is there and I see them on the computer, I'm like 160 across. Yeah. And I'm pressing where I'm like really in my instinct, everything says same press. And if Brian's still out there, Hawaii Craps Brian, he's so right. If you're down a little bit or a lot, like just collect. You know, I've almost always better off collecting. If it's an hour session, just collect. You're actually so much better off than pressing. And collecting is not sexy, but God, putting money in your rack is
what did I say
great.
Last week? I said there's no shame in putting money in your rack. Don't be ashamed of taking, like, it's not wrong. Like, and honestly, a good pressing rhythm is same bet the number, then half press, then full press. Like, that's fine. Like, get money in your rack, pay for it. Nothing wrong with that, right? And I think people have this like I do it sometimes too. You get kind of in this zone of pressing, but to me, once you're even, fine. But like, get money off the table. And when you're behind, it seems like you get more and more behind because the rolls, for whatever reason, it's like the table stagnates for a while, right? And it's like, okay, 2 hits and out, and you're hit, press, and you're out. And you can't get anywhere. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with same betting. And that's where like
Yeah,
the
but you
cross,
said
frankly, comes into play. Maybe when I'm down, an iron cross isn't the word. That's where like the red cross kind of comes into play because okay, it's been shit. I'm down. Let's go. Little iron cross, 3 collects and take a breather because you're going to get paid before that 7 comes. That's not the worst thing to do. It's a good use case for it to get yourself back, grind yourself back, and don't waste any rolls. That's a use case for that. I don't know that I lead with that on every single shooter, but as a grind back way to play, that's not terrible. It's not terrible.
maybe you should. Maybe should. I think maybe people need to grind to get a bit of a profit first before they go with whatever their
Yeah.
medium.
By the way, make a unicorn. Darksider is crazy. He says, focus on a strat that is even or out of the hand by the 3rd roll, not 3 hits. It's impossible. The 3 rolls could be bullshit rolls, and you're never going to be out of the hand unless there's no way to make it work.
Got to get the field.
You got to get the field, or you got to it's got to be a field parlay, or it's got to be a horn parlay, because the box plus all that other stuff, you cannot get out of the hand in 3 rolls. It's impossible unless you're so high. Unless you're so high that the 1 hit on anything gets you out of the hand, and then you're going to be way upside down. That's the problem with 3 rolls versus 3 hits. I know he's going to come back and yell at me, which is fine. But that's the truth of the matter. There's no 3-roll strategy unless you're going to go out wickedly high and 1 hit on anything gets you out of the hand. Any non-7 gets you out of the hand. Otherwise, it's got to be 3 hits. It's otherwise, or 2 hits. Impossible.
But it's not. So I don't have a problem with what he's saying, right? If he's saying really he's going to be 3 rolls and then next shooter, 3 rolls and then next shooter, that's fine. Because, you get 1 hit and you're out and great. But you got to have a recovery system.
He's saying
you
out of the
you
hand.
have to progress though. Like, okay, what if you miss? What if your 3 rolls nothing, 3 rolls nothing, then your 3 rolls you go all the way down, you're out your bankroll. The next one you can't come at the same level. You can't, like you just can't. You then you're now, because you're not going to go 6 rolls, right? So you have to do what Waylon and Charlie do, and that's why they're successful. They do that press up 1 to get the 1 hit and out. If you're going to do that short of thing, you have to come in bigger. And if you come in bigger, you better come in with a bigger bankroll. Like I've tried everything. I really think that nobody here has played more craps than me this year. Like no effing way. Everyone knows I've been to everywhere and I play like 20 hours straight, right? And I've tried all of it. I've tried full light side. I've tried full dark side. The one time I lost like $5,000 in one session was dark side, just pure dark side. I did $100 don't pass and then max odds. Just picked myself up. Then I'd come back with 200 dark, DP and max odds. And that's when you lose because you have a big bet to win a little bet. And I'm there with you guys. Like those of you who walk in the light, and I used to be like, you are all so misguided, 7, the power of the 7, the 7's the favorite. Yeah, but the math can't work like that. You can't ever have bigger bets to win a little and expect to come up on top. You can't unless you're really out. Unless you're John, and John is like that. He's not kidding. He'll like do one hand and he hits goal. He's like, okay, like I'm gonna go sit at the sports book, and I'm like, John, you're out of your mind. I flew all the way to Seattle for this. We're not stopping. You sit right there. But so Darksider, your thing is fine, but you got to progress up. Like you're not going to win because we've been at the table where you have 6 PSOs.
Yeah,
like what do you do then?
3 hits and stop playing. So that he's like, or 3 rolls and either you get your money or you're not playing anymore. I think that's what I asked him for clarification. I think that's what he said.
Oh,
take 3 rolls.
Like for the day?
No, like on a shooter. Like a shooter sets a point. Yeah. 3 rolls and either you're out of the hand or you don't play.
Yeah, but then what about the next shooter? So the issue is if you go 160 across 3 rolls, you lose. Now you're looking at 160 to make up. You're not going to make that up in 1 roll. right? Or three rolls. You're just not going to make that up in 3 rolls ever. Then let's say you get banged again for that. Now you're down 320.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, if you don't do the ladder progression as Waylon does, or Charlie, he doesn't do everything across. He ladders only the 6 and 8. He's looking for one hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has a lot of success with that because a 6 and 8, pretty much if you ladder, one hit will get you kind of out, right? At some point it won't, but in the beginning stage at 30, 60, 90, it'll get you out. So, and maybe you're okay with a small loss. I'm always okay with a loss. I used to be stop loss 0, but I think naturally now I just it never goes to 0 unless I go DP. I feel like light side never goes to 0 because somebody will hit something. Unless you're full press, But if you collect, Brian's right. You won't go to 0. If you just collect all the time, you won't go to 0.
Well, if you did and he did clarify, he said, no, I said 3 rolls after the point, and if you're not out of the hand or even you regress, you're across to minimum or stop. I get you, right? So if you're looking to go from 160 across to 32 across, like I can do at my $5 table here locally. 3 rolls, and either I stop or I go, or I get one, I go down. I get what he's saying there. But you're all of that, if you again, I know people hate when I say this, but over the course of many, many, many rolls, that's a long-term loser. It just is. I've tried this. Believe me, I've tried it. I've tried every way. I've run thousands of rolls. I got his rolls. He's logged rolls from the casino. I've got them in WinCraps, right? And that kind of stuff works in little tiny windows, but over the course of time, it does not work. And it's just unfortunate. You can't beat the game that way. If you could beat the game that way, we'd all do it. We wouldn't be here talking about the damn thing, right? Because you just can't, right? So either, in my view, you have to play or not play. And if your strategy is all about how often can I not be playing, don't go. Right?
Well, 32 across. What's the point?
This, that happens. I'm not going to play. Then just don't play, right? I get it. And what you're doing is you're extending the time that it takes to lose your money, because you're not going to lose it now. Like I might lose my money right away. You'll lose it over time. You're still going to lose it unless you're just going to walk at some stop loss. It's just the way that it works. You can't get away from that. And I wish I could make that more clear, but you're going to eventually lose. It's like the 5 count. The 5 count, same thing. You're waiting all these rolls, and then you go out, waiting all these rolls, then you go out. You're just extending your time. But to what end? I'm there to win money. I'm not there to not win money. Now if I'm there with you all, maybe I would do a 5 count because I want to sit there. Like if I get my goal, right? I'll sit there and get my goal. I'll win my $1,000 and I'll 5 count everybody just so I can put one bet out there. And I'll burn $10 per every other shooter, so I could party for an hour and a half. But other than that, not playing is not playing. And I think to me, I want to play. I want to be out there playing. I want to be out there. I don't want to be long. Like if we're together, I want to play for a while. If we're not together, I don't like my coffee runs. When I stay in Vegas, I get up, get my Starbucks, go to the table. It's 15 minutes, literally 15 minutes. If I get a couple of hits, I'm freaking out of there. Like my coffee's still hot sometimes, and I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have this need to play a long time and be safe. It's 96 across, 3 or 4 hits, and bye-bye. I got my $50, $60, $75 and I'm out of there. Like that's good for me most of the time. And that's why am I a lifetime winner? Because of that. Because I'm willing to do that. I don't need the action. I'm not a junkie where I need the action. I know some people need the action. I don't need the action. I need a few bucks in my pocket. I think I approach it different. So the answer to that other question, the 2% question, hell yeah. If you can take a negative game and get a 2% spiff over the course of a year of play, you've beat the casino. And who can say that? Most people can't say that they've done that. Yeah. Even a 2% win over a year's play, yeah. I looked at my win-loss statement from Harris and from Sahara, and I know why they want me back now. Because I took money from them both times. Like, my 2 trips this year are positive trips because that's how I do it. So... Oh, Skill says, ask Jem my bubble craps question from yesterday. Hold on, pull up my chat. Give me a second here. Everybody's chatting. I got
Oh,
chats over there and I got chats over here.
yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, so while you're looking that up, and I'll tell people, I used to be a huge like, why are you guys wasting your time with like coaches? It's silly, right? But I went and I saw Dice Coach Bo Parker, and he was fantastic. You know, the people who have this quiet confidence about them because they've had the experience, they know what they're talking about. They don't need to sell you on how smart they are or how good they are. You can feel it. That's the sense you get from Dice Coach. So when you go there, you know, he's going to watch what you do, how you tinker, and he's going to work on what you want to work on. You go and you tell him, it's like, I said, Bo, I'm a loser at the table. I don't know what's going on, no matter whether I spend 2 hours, 5 hours, or whatever. I'm generally like breaking even. So when I say loser, I just really mean breaking even. Like if I win $100, that's nothing. If I lose $100, that's nothing. If I lose 500, win five, to me, that's all breaking even. So he's like, well, what are you doing? And I was showing him this. I come out with a $25 DP. If it's a 4 or 10, I'll go $100. This, and then I'll go inside. He's like, okay, well, how's that working out? Obviously, it's not working out. So he said, you know what, for you, and he watched my toss. He liked my toss because I have a very different, he's like, you have a really unique toss. You just stick with it. He didn't tinker with it. He only was tinkering with my betting because that's what's wrong. So he's like, look, just go across. You throw 4s and 10s. Why are you going inside hoping for a hit, then covering the 4 and 10? You're missing out, and it's ridiculous. The 4s and 10s will pay for him, right? So then he made me, and it was very uncomfortable. I went 160 across. He's like, look, your bankroll, even a $2,000 bankroll, you should be 160 across. None of this 64 across. What is the point of like 32 across? What's the point, you guys? Like, I don't understand. So I went 160 across, and then he's like, don't. And sometimes I do the half press. I love the half press. I love the collect, right? But he's like, don't do that. He made me do a alternating collect first, full collect on a number. Then the next time you get the number, then full press that number, right? Don't power press, don't half press, none of this tinkering that I was doing, which was like press by one. And you know what? It worked great. On I For the first time I had really great success. And that's when I went to GVR. After the coaching, that's when I had so many 20 rollers. I had that 53 roller at GVR. I mean, I was hitting all kinds of stuff, and I was tempted to regress. I never regressed. Just don't do it. Like just
Well,
kill being on. And that's why I loved your show this week. I loved your show, and you told people, don't do 640 across and regress, right? You're probably just better off going the one unit that you want across and just building it up. And because of the exponential payouts on the light side, as opposed to like the decreasing payouts on the dark
right.
side.
And
So the math
you
just
hit a couple
works.
points there, Jen. One is why 32 across, because that might be your bankroll. Like if you're right, that may be your thing. $500, 32 across at a $5 table all day long. It's the same thing as going 64.96. It doesn't make a difference. It's what your bankroll starting, what's coming out of your pocket decides that for you. But what you're discovering is that you're playing the Philly special and loving it. Because the Philly special is that. It's basically a full press and a collect on all the numbers except for the 6 and 8. Those are a little sister press. But every other roll, every other hit, you're bringing money back. Every other hit, you're increasing and bringing money back. That's why it gets to, in 25 rolls, a $350 10. It gets so high. That's where I had it last weekend. It gets so high so quick because you're on that rhythm. On a great roll, you're right. That's how you get ahead, right? It doesn't always happen, and I think you got to manage it at the lower points earlier for sure. So, Skill asked me a question for Bubble Craps, okay? And here's the question for you, since you're the Bubble Craps queen. Actually, we should start you on I would like to have the Justice Jen Bubble Craps Destroyer show, and we can take Greg Uluhu out as the Bubble Craps champion of the internet because you're great at that game. He asked this: when the Bubble Craps machine shows the roll history of being off of its normal pyramid, whether it's high or low on numbers, do you bet to take advantage of that? I know your answer to this question, but I want you to explain it to everybody because it's actually when I sit with you and watch Bubble Craps, the way you watch it, you're like a coach on the sidelines yelling out plays to the quarterback. You got this whole thing going on Give me it. Or give all of us it. Yeah.
I do, and it's not trends, guys. Like it isn't that way. It's just the law of averages, the law of big numbers, right? If you're seeing at some point, that mathematical rule will equalize. So if I do see not quite a lot of sevens right now, that means points are being hit, and I will really, really back off my DPs, my aggressive DPs. And I'll wait it out because it's, the law of averages will bring it back so that the seven, the dominant number, is going to reappear. So I do go with the flow. And that's what's the difference between I've emailed and texted tons of people my bubble crap strategy. It works at first if it's a normal rolls, but when they go into the abnormal, abhorrent, weird pockets, they're losing their butts. And they're like, Jen, your system doesn't work. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm like,
Right.
well, don't be stubborn and hammer at like the seven when clearly points are being made. It it's really, really the law of averages. It's not a trend thing. Okay, fine, call it trend. You guys are just doing that to trigger John, and it's really annoying. Like, stop it, okay? He's not gonna be any less triggered, even if you say, just kidding, John. Just stop. Like,
Right.
look, he's doing a thing. Just stop. Like, I don't say that word because it makes him crazy, and it's fine.
It's
Like,
crazy.
But it's
But
okay.
there's a reason.
But
I
yes.
get it. I get it. Right. And it doesn't matter. We can talk about trends later on.
Yeah. But yes, I do. I will study the heck out of that pyramid. And if fives haven't come, I won't just jump on the five. That's crazy. It's actually the opposite. It's like roulette. If it's a bunch of reds, I know it can just be as equal a chance of black and green coming, but I'm not gonna fight it. I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, let me just for the parlay purposes, right? Like that's what I'll do. But my bubble craps has evolved a lot, and it will be very interesting. I would love to go and play with Roy sometimes because he's the opposite. I know Brian said he's the bubble craps king because he actually plays full light side and he makes just as much money as I do, maybe more. Right? So and my everyone's kind of watched me play bubble craps. I mean, I'm really crushing that machine. If I could reach multiple machines, I would play five terminals if I could, right? And JB asked, he's like, well, why don't you do it for a living? I'm like, I'm still an attorney. I will still make more money as an attorney than I ever will out of these dollar bubble craps machines,
Sure.
even at the high levels I make. Everyone's like, well, $1,000 a day is great. And that's pretty much what I make, $1,000 a day on bubble craps. But it's stressful. Like, I'm not going to say, oh my God, it's so easy. Sometimes it's great. But most of the time, it's stressful. I hate it. I want to smash the machines too. I mean, I'm like Big AZ. I'm mad. But mostly I'm happy, right? But it's just, this is not the way to make a living. This is just for fun. So if you made 2%, so to that first original question, if you made 2% profit for the whole year, you're a fantastic player if you enjoyed it. If you were angry like John and you made $3 and you're just, it's not good for you. Stop playing this. Stop it.
Percentages, they make, somebody said my voice is low. I had to change my microphone because when I have a guest on, my muter, the mute thing, the echo cancellation thing stops this mic from working. So that's why I sound like crap. But yeah, the percentage thing, we get fixated on that because it sounds so low. But if you're buying in for 10 grand, a percent of that is not bad, right? Like percentages of big numbers are fine. And on the regular, like I said, if you can win on the regular, that's great. I mean, what's better than that? What's better than winning on the regular? I get it. You make more money than I do. So the rounding errors that you win at the casino on your taxes, to me, are mortgage payments, right? So it's a little different scale there. But yeah, the bubble craps thing, like I said, the pyramid will fill itself out on that machine because it's going to eventually catch itself back up. But it's important to remember this. And JV and has pointed this out to me, and as has Jack Ace, and I've said this before too. If the pyramid's off, let's say there is 5 more sixes than there should be in some window of time, that doesn't mean that you're going to lose 5 sixes somewhere else. It just means that over time, after a billion rolls, the 5 won't matter that much. The 5 becomes an infinitesimal percentage of the whole. It isn't like you're going to not get 5 sixes later. And if your 7s are behind, you're not going to get more 7s later. It's just that in the next window of rolls, it'll be more normal. So it will normalize, but you're not owed extra sevens. Although when you look at things, the bubble crap thing that triggers me the most, honestly, on the stats thing, is the hard ways, because it shows you the number of rolls since the last hard way, and sometimes it's like 160 rolls from the last hard 4. You're like, God, I gotta bet that thing. It just sucks you into like it's due. No. I know. Every time they put on the screen on something like that, you're 100% like it's there to get you, just kind of just reel you in. You know, give me some of that hard for money. It's been 49 rolls or whatever. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I think you should totally do a bubble craps like thing.
Seminar, yeah, sure. I would do that. But John, like what if you could make $200 a day doing bubble craps, would you do it? I mean, I think if you had bubble craps in Washington, it would make sense. It's just not satisfying. And a lot of you guys play for the thrill. And bubble craps, if you're just there to grind, it's not super thrilling. I find it awesome and therapeutic. But for those who have a very small bankroll, bubble craps is where it's at. And don't throw away your little bankroll, right? Like, press the numbers that work. Sorry to say this, the trend is your friend with bubble. Like, just go with whatever the bubble is doing, right? Don't fight it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just go with it. It just makes your life way easier. And it might be happenstance that it just follows that, whatever progression it is. Just go with it, and your life will be better.
Those
But I
dice
would love. I actually have this pen camera. You can't see it, but let me show you because it's really cool. So I bought a pocket protector to try to hide it better. I put it in my, so one of these is actually a pen camera.
other side.
Yeah, move it this side, right?
Yeah.
And when you turn it on, there's no light. You literally cannot tell
There's no blue
that it's a
light or
pen
nothing?
camera.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It doesn't light, nothing,
Huh.
right? And it's this one. Let me show you.
It's the red.
It's
oh,
this
this
one.
side. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And I take it out, and it's actually a real pen, so you can write with it. So I take it out, and I actually like just write with it. So one of these days, I'll put this in my shirt pocket. You can't see, but it's a pen. So I'm gonna take it out, put it in my shirt pocket, and like just film bubble craps. I don't know. Who wants to watch like me doing it for an hour? Maybe people do, but
Who
I
wants
can
to
do that
watch?
and let you upload it.
Bubble crafts are.
But I will show you.
Those videos are like slot videos. I'm telling you, if you're a YouTuber and you want to make get subscribers, it's all about the freaking bubble crafts videos. I mean, it's crazy. Everybody's saying they're rigging the bubble crafts machines and all this stuff. And I got to put this up because Snake Eyes Crafts is speaking my language. He uses crafts as income. Many people who actually use crafts for income play with a little more caution and never take their eyes off the goal. And that's like, I don't play crafts for income. I'm building my master bankroll, right? So I guess you can call it income. But yeah, I never take my eyes off the prize. Never. I'm always on task. It's like walking a dog. Like my dog, when I walk my dogs, as much of a nightmare as they are in the house, on a dog walk, boom, they are locked in. They don't even turn their head because they're on task. That's a me at the casino, right? Literally.
Yeah. I'm getting fun
Then
comments in the
pocket
chat,
protector
so yeah.
equals Screech nerd alert. You know Screech died, right? Do you guys know that?
Oh no.
Yeah, he died
No.
like 6-7 months ago, something like that. Yeah.
Jeez.
That's-
You're old. You're getting old when like the child stars you watch like start dying off.
No, you're getting old when your favorite baseball players' grandkids are playing. Like Gary Maddox was my hero when I was a kid. His grandson is now in the farm system. Gary Maddox Jr. has got kids that are playing like in farm systems. That's how old we are.
I don't even know who that is. I know Greg Maddox.
Gary Maddox Jr. Gary Maddox was the right fielder for the Phillies when I was a kid. When I was like 10, 12 years old, he was our right fielder. And now his grandkid is playing, and I'm like, oh crap! I crossed over into crazy town.
I wanted to make another point, guys. If you want to make money, gambling is not the way. Craps is not the way, right? Like I have a very big bankroll. It's no secret, and it wasn't from being a lawyer. It's from investing in the stock market. Bet on America. Bet on SP 500 index. Do it early. When I was 18, when I wasn't born in this country. I came to this country, and when I was 18, I was like, I can't wait to be an adult because I'm going to open my own brokerage account and I'm going to invest and make myself a millionaire from my investments. So once I turned 18, I put $100 a month into S&P 500. It was hard back then to do that. It's not like today you can put $1 in, right? And I did that faithfully every month, rain or shine, birthday money, Christmas money, mowing lawns, whatever it was. I did that faithfully for 10 years. So every month for 10 years, that's $12,000, right? 1,200 a year, 10 years, $12,000. That account is now $394,000. I just left it alone. I stopped because I joined the real world. I dealt with my 401k, and I revisited it recently, and I just had the dividends regrowing in it. So now it's like almost $500,000 just from that initial 12,000 because I started young and I was faithful about it. That's where you guys got to go. If you have kids, do that for them. $100 a month. And once you do that investment, then you can go to the craps table and blow this money because this money could have done something else. And or it can grow while you're losing at the table. But if you really want to be a winning table player and you don't care about comps, then you have to actually try these things out. Crapsy is not the way. Like really practice it, but I just don't think it can be done at the table unless you play it like DG. And if you haven't watched DG's systems, you should, because he has taken $100 or $1,000 to $100,000 many, many, many times as a demo. And his way is a way to do it with some, really good money management. I love John's thing shows because they're so entertaining, they're thought provoking, and there's just a different flavor of everything. But then sometimes it gets noisy in terms of like now you've got your head so full of strategies, so full of competing thoughts that I'm just a hot mess. I don't know what to do, and I have to remember to bring it back to simple, right? Like either same. I mean, Hawaii Brian is like he has like pockets of wisdom, right? Always do the ATS on random rollers because they're just hawking it out there. They have a way better chance of not doing repeaters because it's like flinging out random things. Okay, same bet, same bet, same bet. Like those two pieces of advice, so good, right? Just keep it simple. Same bet, or do it Dice Coach's way, Thomas's way, right there. Fantastic. Full collect first, then press, and do it only on numbers. Don't sister press, no anything, because he's like you're just diluting the power of your press by spreading it out and being unsure. So anyway,
Keep it
thanks,
simple.
John, for a really super year. I feel like I've learned all of my crap stuff. From watching YouTube, which is sad. I now have a bunch of books. I hate reading now. I don't know, because I have to do so much reading in my work. I'm like, I can't read crap stuff. It's like really poorly written. So the video format's great. I have to say the Crapsy shows are amazing. Not that you do anything. Thanks for giving up on that.
I
But
will go
Brian's
back to
Crapsy
Crapsy.
show,
I will go back to Crapsy.
please. I love it.
The
Yeah.
thing is, I
And
don't
don't
want
get
Crapsy.
so mad, John. Don't
Well,
get so
I
mad.
do get so mad. I don't want Crapsy to distract from the morning show. Like I don't want it to be a thing where I'm trying to focus on the shot, get the betting done, right? Crapsy would get in
That's
the way
fair.
of all that. That show is for that purpose. I want people to go back and watch the paycheck shows. And when you do a show like a Jeff show where he's doing his Crapsy stuff, you go back and watch it the next day. It's dumb. Like it's like there's no, you can't play along with it. A lot of the talk is about Crapsy and your bets getting in. It makes the shows non-valuable for the next day. That's why I don't do as much of it as I ought to. I will do some at some point here and just do a little live because I have to. I gotta get on the train at some point.
That's, and I think that'd be great. Look, those are fun because those are community builders. John, I would really love to see you do like this is John's bankroll building system. If you want to do it, this is how to do it. We haven't gotten that from you because
No,
you're testing other people's strategies and it's very mechanical because it has to be because you want to prove it. But we already know the conclusion is most of these aren't going to work. They're not going to be the way. And this is not a true bank builder system. These is really a strategy testing system. So don't be upset when the bankroll doesn't go up. It's not you. It's the strategy.
That's true. And I'll tell you what, I was really surprised by the Red Cross. Like the Red Cross to me, I hate iron crosses. Everybody hates the iron cross. That thing, the things that Waylon and I put in that Red Cross to make it work, freaking work. Like that thing works so good. And to me, taking that system and rolling in the same bet press thing after I get my cross bet set on that thing would be the way, you know. And honest to God, I've made more money keeping it simple, starting small, and growing the bets up, and at not worrying about it. And like I said, I manage my rack the way I manage my rack. I can show more of that, I think, for sure on my shows. I think that's one thing I got to do more of is really split out the 10 shooters or the 20 shooters that I've got and show you all again how I know where I am. Because when you've watched me in a casino, when my rack is like the opposite of your rack. Your rack looks like I don't even know what it looks like. Like somebody barfed chips out there and it went all over the place. For me,
Do you have a picture of it? Show everybody. Wait,
I
you have to show everyone.
I can find it.
So he's talking about the big.
Who'd you text me?
At the big, I'm actually really organized in my chip rack. Like I have even like lammers and everything. But during that big roll at GVR, at some point I was in such a good rhythm, I could not be bothered to sort my chips. So every time I won, I just flung the chips into the rack next to it, and it turned into this big mound of chips that kept overflowing, and that's what it looked like.
There's your
And that's like
I saw that picture. Had to go take a shower afterwards. I'm like, oh my god, how am I doing that? Like that's impossible that somebody could actually do that.
But every time I tried to sort it, people were like, don't, just keep going. I'm like, okay. And so that triggers John so much. It's funny. But so back to that GVR thing, guys. I challenge you. Trust me on this, because take it from someone who's perpetually grinding a loss at the table. Please try for a whole weekend, no matter what your strategy is. Try the alternating full collect, then full press, only the number. Try it steadily. And that is the only session at GVR. Like the weekend, I won $3,000 because I did that system. Right. And I had a ton of PSOs. I'm not saying like I'm like this amazing shooter. I had a ton of PSOs. You guys probably saw me on that Big AC's camera. Ton of PSOs. So even with the total bomb PSOs, there were enough good rolls by that system that I still netted out $3,000. I did not even use bubble craps to save me. I did some bubble craps, but I'm not counting that. I'm just talking about table play. So try it. That might just be the way because of the exponential payouts.
That is funny, but yeah, I and all this to say, you're right about the year. The year of shows was good. I think we got a lot of ground covered this year. I find myself focusing so much less on strategies other than the Daily Paycheck show. It's more about ways to play, and I'm so much more focused now on the money management piece of it. Like, you know, I think this for the last 4 months of shows have been. It's like I don't care what you do. If it's same bet forever, if it's single press forever, it's half press forever, if it's press and collect, if it's what I call the Philly special way of doing it, whatever it is, it's rhythm. And I'm calling it's rhythm pressing. Whatever that is for you, find your rhythm and stick to the rhythm. And you know, I really believe the more. And JB is a great guy. We talk so much over text and on phone, and more of this. Don't regress. He's like, don't regress. And he's like, do the math on it. We've done it. We've gotten Excel. We've done the math on it. I've been in WinCrafts on it. I'm like, damn it if he's not right. If going big and the regress is so much worse for you than starting small and letting the bets grow. Because even when you start small and you get 2 hits twice, that earns you back a full crack at it, right? If you go 2 hits and out, okay, you didn't get it, but you've only lost 1 net shooter. 2 hits and out on a regression system and you got nothing out of it. Or you might have lost 4 shooters worth of money. It's just, that's the biggest change, I think, in the last probably, I've always done that by default because I couldn't afford to go super high. And I've worked in this grow my bets world. As my bankroll grows, I've been more apt recently to try and do some regressions, but boy, the more I analyze it, I was right all along, you know, betting small and growing up from there, just not being aggressive enough. And I think that's the way, man. I think that's keeping it simple is the way. So love it.
John, you know, I hate to say you were just freaking right about the Philly special. You know how much I hated that Philly special. I was like, You're out of your damn mind. You're not going to G Money special and then 410 flip and then sister press. This is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my whole life. But it works. However, I think if you've got to the point where your 4 and 10 is at $1,000 starting from a quarter, and it doesn't roll for a while, I think you can peel off some of that money. Like we're not
There is
talking
a
about
time.
full.
You're right.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a point in
different.
time, and that's where the conservative in me comes out, right? It's a point. Like Waylon says it. I'll pull a Waylon quote out. When are you satisfied? Like, be satisfied. So if I've done from $64 Philly special, and I've collected $1,000, and I got $1,000 sitting out there, right? What are you satisfied? Am I satisfied with $1,000 in the rack, or am I more satisfied with the $2,000? Pull the $2,000 off. Now, if I do that and restart it again, yeah, I got 4K in the rack, which is awesome, right? I could tell a great story about that. If the shooter goes another 15 rolls, then you're like, could have been 20 grand, right? So there's this, but I think the normal conservative in John says, get the hell out of that hand. Be satisfied with that extra money. But yeah, that system works because it steamrolls on itself. And it's got built-in collections at the right points to where you roll 4, you're out of the hand. The 4th hit on anything, you're out of the hand. You're clear and free, and you're progressing that exponential growth, which is, I think, why it works. So, now they're all talking about markets, and the market today. Well, it's Christmas week, right? The market's going to do nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a well-known phenomenon in the stock market. It's called the Santa rally. So yeah, this is the Christmas rally, and then it stops when it slows down. But and 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 usually people, the market managers, they need to rebalance their portfolios to show that performance was very good for the year. So they do a little bit of window dressing at this time. That's why the market's been on fire. So if you look at your 401k accounts now, they should be like through the roof. Yeah, my net worth is outrageous. But
Do you remember a guy? And I'll ask the general chatters. Y'all remember a guy named Melodic XP that was in our chats for a while?
yeah,
Okay,
in
so
the very
Melodic XP,
beginning.
good dude. His name is Carmelo. He's the guy that gave me the laptop to run in the garage. The initial when I first made the switch to the garage, he donated that to the show. He is a student at my school, and he's in about 10 minutes going to do his final presentation. He's been working solo through my code school. He's about to graduate code 301. He's going to graduate in like 10 minutes. So I'm going to go. We'll stop our show. I'm going to go watch him do that. And it's pretty cool. So he doesn't know I'm calling him out here, of course, but anyway,
that's
it's
awesome.
it's pretty cool to go watch him complete the journey from being whatever his old career was. Now he's about to become a coder, which is pretty freaking awesome. So Jen, I'm gonna switch screens, take you off camera, but I do want to have you stay here with me for a minute. I'm gonna put this up. Let's put Keynote back up again. Merry Christmas, Jen. And
Same to you, John.
to everybody out there, Merry Christmas. I personally love every one of you. Jen, you especially. You've been such a good friend to me. Just over text and everything else, we've had such a good year. And I think from the channel op standpoint, it's been an awesome year. I have a lot of good things for next year. But to everybody out there, and I'll let you say your piece here as well, Jen. But I want to say to everybody, Merry Christmas. We all know Christ is King, and he is, as Ed said last week, the reason for the season, right? And we gotta not forget that. We gotta not forget the gift that we all have of free will, of freedom in this country. And as you know, you weren't born here. You appreciate what this country has to offer. We have to remember that as messed up as things can be, we have it really, really good. We have it really, really good. And I think that we've been blessed as a nation and blessed as a people and blessed as friends here. So, love you all. And Merry Christmas. Jen, you want to close us out? I'll give you the final.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I want to say that you gentlemen are like my family. I spend as much time with you as I do my spouse, because I'm just watching you and interacting with you because I get so much out of these. And I think the discourse is, on the whole, so positive. Everyone's thoughts are interesting. Everyone has a legitimate point. Don't be so upset if people just don't agree with how you play. It's okay. I think it's fantastic to voice what it is that you do, and then we can just take it and process it, and we'll all learn from everyone's comments. So thanks to all the content providers, those of us who don't create any content, we are absorbing it and we love it. And if you put up a video, I will watch it start to finish. I won't give up on it. I'll probably watch it twice. So, and I hit the thumbs up every time, even though I don't think it does anything to the algorithm. So thank you, you guys. And I'll see you at the table soon.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye, and I will see you on this show after the new year. I'm going to take a week off and enjoy. So everybody, God bless all of you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.